All right, let's talk about something we all want. A life that feels, comfortable, abundant, and not so chaotic. But how often does it really feel that way? More often than not, it feels like life is just doing its own thing, and we're just getting dragged along for the ride. And that feeling of not being in control, that's a huge part of the human struggle.
This really hits home, doesn't it? It feels exactly like that. We're this little paper boat, just spinning around in these crazy, turbulent waters, doing our best not to sink. You feel like you're totally at the mercy of these huge forces you can't influence at all. It's a feeling I think every single one of us knows.
But here's the big, mind-bending question we're going to dig into. What if that fundamental idea that we're just at the mercy of the world is completely wrong? What if you have way more power than you think? Not to fight against the current, but to choose a totally different river to be on in the first place. Now, before we can even get into that wild idea, we have to look at the model that most of us are living by right now. The one that makes life feel like this constant, exhausting, uphill battle that we feel like we're just destined to lose. I mean, think about it. What's the usual advice? If you're not happy, well, you're the problem, right? You're flawed. You've got to work on yourself, fix your weaknesses, meditate more, do all these exercises. Basically, you have to wage a war against your own nature. And honestly, it's exhausting. And if we're being real, most of us don't actually want to change who we are at our core. Living like this traps you in what feels like a gloomy dream. Just imagine waking up to some nasty dog barking, and then you have to walk through this bleak, dead-looking forest where it feels like the branches are intentionally smacking you in the face. It's a world where every little thing seems to be against you. It perfectly captures that feeling of powerlessness, where the future you really want just always stays out of reach. But then, the author wakes up from that gloomy dream and finds himself in a completely different reality. And this, right here, is where things start to get really, really interesting. I mean, just look at the contrast. It's night and day. In one reality, the world is hostile. In the other, it's a beautiful symphony. That nasty dog is now a choir of birds. The dead forest is suddenly magical. The cold, damp sea transforms into these warm, emerald waves. It's the exact same person, but the world on the outside seems to be a perfect mirror of their state on the inside. So this is the million-dollar question. How on earth is this possible? He didn't do anything to change the world. Nothing was fixed. The world itself just seemed different. How? Well, the answer starts to come into focus in another, even weirder dream. Yeah, the answer starts to unfold in this incredibly vivid dream where the author meets this mysterious character called the Guardian, and this guy holds the key to this whole thing. So, in this dream, he's wandering through this place of just indescribable beauty, and he runs into the person who takes care of it all. But this isn't just some random dream. It's a moment of pure revelation, where the normal rules of reality get completely flipped on their head. And boom, here it is, the Guardian's core message. And it is a radical idea. He's not saying you have to earn your destiny, or fight for it, or deserve it. He's saying you just choose it. That, he says, is the only freedom we truly possess. Not freedom from things, but the freedom of choice. But of course, it's not quite that simple. The Guardian hits him with this bizarre riddle. I mean, apples falling to the sky? That sounds impossible, right? It's a total reversal of the laws of nature. And this riddle? This is the central puzzle we have to solve to figure out how you can actually choose your reality. Okay, so solving this riddle means we have to understand the engine that powers this entire idea, a concept called the space of alternatives. This is where we get into the nuts and bolts of how reality might actually work. So here's the critical idea. Reality isn't just one straight line. According to this model, there's this infinite information field, the alternative space, that holds the blueprint for every single possible thing that could ever happen. The happy life, the sad life, the rich one, the poor one, they all exist right now at the same time as potentials. So think of your life not as a single movie you're stuck watching, but as a massive library full of films. Each of those films is a complete lifeline, a potential path your life could follow. That gloomy dream and that sunny walk, they weren't two different worlds, they were just two different lifelines pulled from this infinite library. It's just like an old reel of film. Every single frame, the past, the present, and the future, it already exists on the reel. So what we call time is just the light of the projector moving from one frame to the next. All those potential moments are already there, just waiting.
Okay, so if all these potential lifelines, all these movies of our life exist at the same time, what decides which one we get to experience? What's the mechanism that shifts us from the gloomy lifeline over to the sunny one? Well, the answer is thought energy. Your thoughts aren't just these passive things happening inside your head. They're actual vibrations, a form of energy that radiates out from you. And this energy acts like a flashlight in that dark library of the alternative space, lighting up and literally pulling up potential reality into your physical world. Here's how it works in 3 pretty simple steps. First, you think, and that creates a specific energy frequency. Second, that frequency tunes into a lifeline that has a matching script and scenery, kind of like tuning a radio to a specific station. And third, that section of the alternative space starts to materialize around you as your physical reality.
And this brings us to a really powerful analogy. We spend most of our lives trying to change the world around us. And that's like standing in front of a mirror and yelling at your reflection, trying to force it to smile. It's a totally pointless fight because the reflection can't change by itself.
So this all brings us to the final, actionable takeaway. It's the solution to the Guardian's riddle and the real key to this entire way of thinking. The entire solution boils down to this one simple, powerful idea. Stop fighting the reflection. Stop wrestling with the world, with other people, even with yourself, trying to force everything to change. The only real power you have is to change the source, the image itself, and that image, it's your thoughts. By consciously choosing what you think about, you change the energy you're putting out, and you simply tune into a different lifeline. You don't change the world, you choose a new one. And that is the answer to the Guardian's riddle. Your apples will fall to the sky just means that the impossible becomes possible the moment you stop trying to change the reflection and start changing the image. The laws of your own personal reality can be totally rewritten. So the only question left is, what destiny are you going to choose?